For plug-in hybrid wagons, especially those with a relatively smaller size, there are currently only two models on the market. One is the BYD Seal 06, and the other is the Lynk Co 07 GT right next to me, which is also a new model that has just started pre-sales. I believe everyone has a certain understanding of its overall price. The version we are test driving today should be the $18,000 version. We will discuss its overall experience later. First, let's review some design details on the exterior. As you can see, the design of the front end basically maintains a highly consistent style with the sedan version. There is a LiDAR on top, so it is equipped with advanced intelligent driving functions. The headlights still feature a highly recognizable design style. Looking at the lower front lip position, there is a sportier body kit which makes the car's overall sporty atmosphere look much better than before. Combined with the black body paint, it makes the whole car look even sleeker. Now coming to the side of the car, as you can see, the test drive model we have this time features black rims. The multi-spoke design creates a great sporty atmosphere. The brake calipers are yellow, and the 4-piston configuration can provide strong braking force. On the side fender here is a rear-facing assist camera. The side mirrors are integrated into the doors, and on the mounting pillar here, there are also front-facing assist cameras as well as side surround view cameras. As for the door handles, they have been updated to the latest semi-flush design that complies with the new national standards, making opening the doors very convenient and easy. Regarding the charging and fueling ports, over there is a fast and slow charging port, while over here is the refueling port for 92-octane gasoline, so its overall fuel economy is quite decent. Speaking of the rear spoiler, this car didn't opt for a larger optional spoiler, so it remains in its factory spoiler condition. It features a hollowed-out design in the middle, giving it a great overall visual effect. Personally, I actually prefer this factory spoiler. I'll see later if I can make a simple modification with a small ducktail spoiler. The optional factory aero kit spoiler might look a bit less cohesive with the rest of the car, though that's just my personal opinion. The three-dimensional feel of the Wagon's rear end is done better than on the sedan version, and its interior passenger space as well as trunk storage space are superior to the sedan. Therefore, after the Wagon version is launched, I believe its sales volume will see a good boost. As for the overall design, this is the Lynk Co logo. The continuous taillight design features their latest family design language. Regarding the emblems, the Lynk Co brand logo is written here, while the Lynk Co 07 GT model badge is written over here. Underneath the rear bumper, you can see it also has a sport body kit, making the overall stance of the vehicle look even better. Now we have arrived at the front row. First, let's take a look at the seating space in the Lynk Co 07 GT. Currently, I am seated properly with the seat adjusted to its lowest position, and my hands are in the correct driving position. At this time, you can see the headroom is more than one fist, roughly one fist and one finger, which poses no problem at all. So, within this seating space, it feels quite comfortable overall. In terms of features, the front seats are equipped with ventilation, heating, and massage functions, providing a pretty good overall experience. Here are two phone slots, which are quite wide, but note that only the left one supports 50 West wireless charging, so you need to pay a little attention to this configuration. Behind that is a row of physical buttons. Functions like air conditioning controls and audio volume adjustment can be operated directly here. When we press down on this center crystal knob, it can also quickly adjust the driving mode settings. So, in this aspect, the overall user experience is actually very good. Further back are two conventional Q folders equipped with internal retainers. The trim panel in the center console area, being a hybrid model, features a carbon fiber style finish. The matte texture feels very nice to the touch. The armrest console has 2 layers in total. Opening the bottom layer reveals a built-in refrigerator. You can fit about 4 upright cola cans per row, making it 8 cans into rows, so there's plenty of space without any issues. Pressing open this button reveals a smaller storage space above. This compartment is great for holding things like cards, loose change, and car keys without any hassle. So, in terms of storage, it offers quite a rich set of functions. Looking at the front seats this time, the materials used form a very rich combination, such as yellow stitching, leather on both sides, and Alcantara material covering the entire center area, which provides excellent anti-slip functionality. The overall wrapping sensation when sitting in it is actually done quite well. When driving aggressively or taking corners, it provides great lateral support for our body. Now I have moved to the rear row. With the front seat previously adjusted to its lowest and most comfortable position, we can see that in this state, the rear legroom has 1 fist and 2 fingers of space, which is no problem at all. The overall space is very sufficient. Regarding headroom, with the seatback currently adjusted to its most upright optimal position, the headroom is over 1 fist, which is quite decent. When we adjust the seatback to its most reclined position, my hair slightly touches the beam behind, but there is still about 1 finger of space left. Now the seat is adjusted almost all the way back. As you can see, the hair here slightly brushes against the beam, but a finger can easily fit through here without any problem. Therefore, the overall seating space presents no big issues for someone like me who is 1.8 meters tall and on the heavier side. I can sit quite comfortably. Lying back with the backrest at its most reclined angle feels very pleasant. One minor thing to note is that around the C-pillar area, it feels slightly tight on the hands for me, though for slimmer individuals, it shouldn't be an issue at all, so that's something to keep in mind. Regarding features, first, you can see to independent air vents here, which can be adjusted individually up, down, left, and right. Below here are to charging ports, which make it very convenient to charge devices for rear passengers. Lowering the center armrest, the first thing you see are to Q folders at the front, and the comfort level when resting your arm and elbow on it is quite good. Thus, its overall rear passenger space and comfort-related features perform without any issues. Now we have driven this Lynk Co 07 GT onto the road. First, let's talk about some powertrain specs. The engine is a 1.5T engine, and what we are test driving today is the front-wheel bias all-wheel drive version with a pre-sale price of over $18,000. As a front-drive biased vehicle, the front electric motor has a higher output power than the rear motor. The front motor is over 100 kilowatts, while the rear motor is under 100 kilowatts. The overall power delivery experience is completely faultless when you are driving on the road. For instance, right now I am in a low battery state and need hard acceleration. Gently stepping on the pedal in performance mode delivers smooth power buildup without any hesitation. So this experience, whether you are in a low battery state or a high battery state, allows you to get quick acceleration performance, which is great. As for its battery pack, it has a capacity of over 20 kilowatt hours, under 30 kilowatt hours. The pure electric range for the two-wheel drive version is to 100 kilometers, while the four-wheel drive version we are testing today has a pure electric range of 170 kilometers. This is more than enough for daily commutes. If you want to use pure electric mode for intercity long trips, it might be slightly challenging, but I think for a one-way trip from Shenzhen to Guangzhou around 70 to 80 kilometers it shouldn't be much of a problem either. So it can still function in pure electric mode for intercity trips, which is quite nice. As for the ride feel, the chassis is equipped with CDC adaptive damping suspension. Therefore, its overall support when driving over bumpy roads in sport mode is great, handling them very crisply. Like right now on the highway, when going over road expansion joints, it passes over them very cleanly. It transmits a certain degree of road feel to the driver's steering wheel, but very little of it is transferred to the seat where I am sitting, so passenger comfort remains fantastic with only subtle road feedback on the steering wheel. This feedback is acceptable for the driver because it gives you a better sense of the road conditions. Once I switch to comfort mode, the feedback from the road surface isn't as pronounced, and when encountering joints or potholes, it passes through much more smoothly and gently, offering great comfort overall. However, when driving over undulating surfaces, whether in performance mode or comfort mode, there is a slight vertical bouncing motion. This might be tuned later in performance mode to make it crisper, so we'll have to wait for the actual experience with the production model. Based on our current test drive experience, it generally allows you to pass over joints, dips, or single-wheel bumps like manhole covers with a very comfortable feel in comfort mode. In sport mode, when you want to drive a bit faster on highways or in the city, it provides great roll control, and the vertical body control is handled very cleanly. So, in terms of overall experience, this is a car that allows you to drive dynamically and enjoyably by yourself in performance mode, while also providing your family with a comfortable long-distance travel experience when going on weekend trips like a Wagon should. These are all highlights of its comprehensive experience. As for the steering, driving on the highway today has been quite relaxed. In performance mode, when I set the steering weight feedback to its heaviest setting, it still doesn't feel overly heavy to me, allowing easy lane changes with one hand though for safety reasons. I still recommend keeping both hands on the wheel during lane changes. In the lightest power steering mode, the steering feels lightweight, allowing very effortless steering and lane change maneuvers in urban or highway environments. Regarding steering precision, at higher highway speeds currently, the steering response is very precise. When taking turns or carving through mountain roads, the precision remains sharp. However, when I wiggle the steering wheel at lower speeds, you can still feel a tiny dead zone. But for daily driving, this dead zone has zero negative impact. It just slightly gives you the impression that it's not 100% immediate. Of course, once your speed increases, this dead zone disappears completely. So this is something you should try during a test drive to see if it's acceptable for you. The overall driving experience of the car is basically like this. It's a vehicle that lets you enjoy a fun drive when you're alone, while also providing your family with a comfortable ride experience when traveling together. Today, after a trip of nearly 100 kilometers, my impression of this car is just as I mentioned in the dynamic driving section earlier. It is indeed very comfortable to drive and offers plenty of interior space. For instance, being 1.8 meters tall, I found the front seat comfort to be great with high feature specs, and once the rear seat back adjustment is set, the overall comfort and space in the back are excellent. For slightly shorter individuals, the space inside this car is truly substantial. The only small detail is that while the overhead glass roof provides decent heat insulation, if the car is parked for a long time, the glass does feel warm to the touch. If a physical sunshade can be added, I would recommend installing one, as it will improve heat insulation significantly. The overall experience is pretty much like this. It is a wagon that can well satisfy both family needs and personal sporty driving desires. So, if you are interested in this model, its pre-sale price has already been announced, and you can visit a dealership to check out the physical car. Once the official price is launched, you can see if the price range meets your requirements. That wraps up this test drive review of the Lynk Co 07 GT. See you in the next video. Bye bye.